Hello friends, SwankyBox here, and welcome back to HorrorScoped. Today, we'll be taking a look at another pair of animatronics featured in Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, although the presence of one of them is mysteriously lacking. Now, the FNAF series is no stranger to themes like death and fear, but in this case, we might have a murder mystery on our hands. Let's hop up on stage and take a look at the lore behind not just Montgomery Gator, but Glamrock Bonnie and the mysterious disappearance in the Mega Pizzaplex. Montgomery Gator, like the other Glamrock animatronics, is fashioned after the era of rock and roll, from which they get their namesake. Monty in particular seems to have the personality of a stereotypical angry rocker, who lets out their inner emotions by destroying property, be it in his own green room or otherwise. Like the other animatronics, this behavior too is a mirror of how things occasionally went in the music business in the real world during that bombastic era. One need not look further than the Rolling Stones' own Keith Richards, throwing a TV off a hotel balcony, which is only part of the antics that earned a particular hotel the nickname the Riot House during that time. The Pizzaplex itself has signing all over to try to discourage Monty from entering certain areas. Not that this has ever deterred him in the slightest. However, could there be more to this anger than just programming? Perhaps the Gator doesn't enjoy playing second fiddle, and maybe has some disdain and jealousy towards one of his fellow musicians. Well, his very own golf minigame may actually shed some light on this. But first, it may be better to look into how Monty was added to the band in the first place, as it may very well all be tied together. Enter Glamrock Bonnie, or perhaps Exit will be more accurate. Bonnie was the mascot of the Bonnie Bowl area of the Pizzaplex, and was a member of the band before the events of the game took place. A lot of speculation about Bonnie is within the game, and even the kids evidently ask about his whereabouts quite frequently. Well, apparently, the security team really didn't have an appropriate response to give the customers, as we can find out by exploring messages found in a few duffel bags. Evidently, one night Bonnie was seen on security cameras leaving his green room and heading towards the arcade. After nearly 4 hours of walking the building, he arrives at Monty Golf and enters, never to be seen again. Poor Freddy even comments on Bonnie during gameplay if we were near Bonnie's old areas, saying that he no longer comes to these locations because of how badly he misses his friend.
I do not come up here anymore. I miss him.
So what exactly happened? Well, put on your tinfoil hats, folks, because it's theory time. Earlier, we mentioned that Monty Golf's minigame may shed some light on the overall circumstances regarding Monty's apparent anger. Well, in the final area of this game, we find that Freddy has been left in a dumpster, with Monty possibly replacing him as the lead singer of the Glamrock animatronics. That of course begs the question of whether this was all his own doing, or if this is part of Vanny's schemes. Unfortunately, that bit remains unclear. But what is interesting is that the only reason Monty is even in the band in the first place is due to Bonnie's disappearance. This of course paints the picture of Monty purposefully disposing of Bonnie in order to gain a spot in the lineup. Why were Freddy and Bonnie being targeted? Was it a selfish act on Monty's part, or was there something more purposeful at play, such as, perhaps, Freddy's eventual apparent benevolence? Could this perhaps mean that Bonnie had a similar defect to that of Freddy? There are lots of open threads to pursue. Then, there's Mr. Hippo. That's right, there's one more animatronic being thrown into this conspiracy. There's one possible ending to Security Breach that, like others, shows the player a newspaper article. In this case, it prominently displays Mr. Hippo with a headline telling us that he has taken Monty's original spot in the band, because Monty has now taken the lead slot. Glamrock Mr. Hippo plays a triangle, and while I'm not convinced that's a great replacement for a bass guitar, it does complete the apparent plot at play by Monty. While we may not have all the answers to this animatronic conspiracy, it is compelling to see that the customers aren't the only ones under threat by the homicidal robots. They need to watch their own backs as well. With that all on the table, what did you think of this? Let me know your thoughts and theories in the comments below. And until next time, horror fans, cheers!